F here, T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show. It's been a long day, headset all day, halftime show, webinar, regular video, and now Wheels in Motion. So one of the things that's important about what's going on now is we've got earnings season. Every day there's going to be new earnings and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't mean we ignore the futures. Obviously, we're going to keep an eye on that. But as the days go on, there's going to be effects to certain stocks. There's going to be effect to certain sectors and stuff like that. So here's what we got to take a look at right now. So if we look at the S&P SPY, right, we've got this. So here's potentially what's going on here. Let's shrink it down. Potentially we're an outside bar to the upside, right? We've regained continuity on the green side. We've taken this down. So if you look at this, and I go this 4 months of just nothing. But what's important to look at is that we had the 2-2 reversal that didn't kick in. It did, but it didn't go hard. Then we tried to go 2-2 into the upside, didn't get that. Now we tried to go 2-2 reversal down, but come back through the range. So at this point, we're closer to being an outside bar and expanding the broadening formation to the upside, right? Because remember, October here, the 2-2 kicked in, get killed, right? Here we had the same setup, didn't work. I mean, it did for a moment, but didn't get killed. And so we had it again here, didn't get killed. So at this point, they're trying to thwart it and send it back into the highs. So here is 2 up, 2 up. We're still hanging around in there. So that's what's going on in the futures. So each day, each morning, we're going to have these earnings, and that's why stuff like Rita, you know, when you have these gaps and stuff like this, and it's great, and play them how you will, and I had a webinar tonight, but if you look at the 15-minute, here, you had the inside 15 right here. That's above 146.79. Then the measured move here above 158. This is huge moves, right? So you want to stay on that stuff. And 1 second. So what I'm going to say here is that if we look at a bunch of stuff like IBB, which is, we know is going to be going inside year, most likely, but you can see this broadening formation. It's coming back through it, at least right now. And I'll make sure we're on this. In the weekly, you're tuning back up, and you're trying to come back through here on the IBB, and you can watch the Labu. So a lot of this stuff is getting sector by sector, case by case, and it's not the biggest move in the world. But you can see stuff like Regeneron, because we've known that these big boys have been doing nothing forever. Like if you look at the monthly here, finally taking this to the upside here, because we know like stuff like GILD has been doing nothing forever. BIIB has been doing nothing forever, but Regeneron finally trying to poke its head up to see if anything's going to go on that. And I'm not going to be too excited about some of this stuff. If you look at EW on the monthly is trying to go into the highs, and so unlike other things in the bio that's hanging the lows, this thing's trying to go back in the highs. If you go to daily, you got an inside day here to see if you can take this up. So, you know, relative strength there too. ALGN, and ALGN here is the monthly 2-2 reversal, right? And you've got the lower low here. So if this is the triangle, this is potentially a really big move. And so right here, so far, above the monthly 188.15, you're already at 209.25, and that's still doing what it's supposed to do. Amazon. So Amazon, what have we known about Amazon? Amazon, we had the 2-2 reversal monthly here to take it down. That followed through. 2 down, now potential outside, right? Whether it runs out of time or not will still work, but for the weekly, here you're going to see this. For people not used to seeing broadening formations, this is how you want to look at things. Price discovery. Now, is it going to be weak enough to eventually take this out, or is this going to try and come back up through here as a higher level of that, higher low? So you're an inside week to the upside over 1747.83. We knew about that from last night's video and the weekend video here. 2 up, 2 down, 222 continuation here above 1741.88, and a nice move here. So you take out a bunch of these things, which is nice, right? Because people are going to be short against that and that and that pivots. So we'll see if there's any follow through on that. so far, but you are inside week and up so far for the rest of the week as long as you're above that. NTES was also something that was in the weekend video. Once again, pivot machine gun. Where are the stops and the shorts? Here, 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 here. We took it all out. That was very nice. That's 2 down because it took those lows. 2-2 reversal here. Above 274.20. 286.29. So we'll see as it comes up on the monthly now. You're taking this out. Now we're going to try and gun for these guys. 289.68. So that's not too far. That could do it on the opening. We finally got a little bit of strength out of XLV and stuff like that, and Humana's still stuck in here, and I understand that, but finally trying to come. So when you see a choppy, tight range like this, tight triangle business, this. So if you were to identify what the broadening formation would look like, it would be this. Why? Lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, here. So once you come down to here, you either have to expand that or you come back through it. And that's what we're getting right now. Humana's trying to come back through all this stuff. And you can watch that with XLV. Right? Trying to come back up through this stuff here. You can see it. Stop them out here. Down in here. And now trying to come back through here. And you can watch, Cigna and all these other ones. UNH. Stuff like that, and you can see this. UNH already takes this stuff out. So when you get this really tight, choppy range, we know there's tight triangle business. So when they come down here and they start gunning through here, we're going to take that out. So getting a little more interesting over there. On the downside, XLP, talked about in the weekend video, is about this inside week down. It's not really getting killed, but what that gives you is once that takes out 60.31, it's like 3 cents. That tells you that at least the XLP names are something to be looked at, and they certainly were when you have Procter & Gamble, right, inside week getting pounded, coming back through previous range. So not only does it do it on the weekly, the inside week and down Procter below 120.80, but if you go to the monthly, it's a 2-2 reversal here below 1901, right? And boom, there you go. So that tells you can look at it. It's a little boring, but you can watch your Cokes and your Pepsis and all that kind of XLP stuff. Pepsi a little bit better, but to see what's going on there. We also saw that this week they're starting to jump ship, not only in XLP, but utilities. And still an inside month, but a red month, which you're not seeing much until last year to this extent. Right, they're coming down, and so that tells us we're going to watch NEE, Dominion, AEP, all that kind of stuff, and Ed to see who's weaker. And you can see like Ed's weaker by taking out these lows on the daily and stuff like that. So we'll constantly want to see as the market goes up and down what it ever does here with the earnings season. The sector rotation. I can't stress this enough, to have a quote field that quotes from the opening, not the close, of the major sectors, because that tells you right away what's going on here. And we're starting to lose the golden stocks here. JNUG, as you can see this, boom, taking all this stuff out. And you'd look for, an inside 30 here, pops up. 2 up, 2 down, 30 here. And you could ride this thing into the dirt because it's a decayer, right? It also, on the weekly, the 2-2-2 continuation here below 59.20. Now we're at 53.76, still going. And we can look at Newmont here, which is actually in conflict. We would like to see this thing kick back in. So if Newmont can take the opening of 37.57, that would have my attention, because that would take this monthly back down below 37.45. If we can take that. Otherwise, you just ride the JNUG, and the weakness would be RGLD here. The 2-2 monthly down, and it was very beautiful on the daily. Down, inside measured move, getting killed. So we'll see if that can follow through on that. Other than that, like I said, XLP, you've got Colgate and stuff like that. Colgate coming down, and always watching for these things, taking out last month's lows. And, to a certain extent, you've got the oils. EOG is still mounting down, Concho. And I've seen some of the restaurants like Cracker Barrel getting hit here. Brinker EAT starting to get hit, albeit inside month. DRI having some issues, and then some lower level like Chewy, inside month and down, stuff like that. So, but basically in this environment, what we want to look for is these gaps, because the earnings, oftentimes the broader averages will go back and forth while disseminating these earnings, because big boys are waiting to see these earnings and say, okay, do we want to, is this sector doing okay? How's the economy? Blah, blah, blah. But they want the earnings to come out because most funds are going to use fundamentals as over technicals. And they'll say that they're going to do it, but for the most part, they want to see fundamentally how things are going to reevaluate it. You're also coming into the end of the year and how they want to do that. And so if we go back to the SPY once again, when people say, I think it's going to roll over and get killed, you are nowhere near on a monthly basis getting killed on a SPY, unless you can take this out. You are nowhere near getting killed on the Qs here. And if you go to the weekly here, you're coming back up on this inside. So we're much closer to taking out the highs. All right, so no matter what anybody says, like, I think it's going to roll over, we're going to get killed. Time frame continuity things have to change. All these kind of levels have to change, and we're not seeing that. So right now you got XLP weak. You've got the Utes a little bit weak, just probably some profit taking after the runs that they've had. But right now, focusing on the earnings, staying on the earnings gaps, and that's why in the morning I'll come in at Robin the Black on Twitter. Gap, gap, gap. We're going to stay on that stuff, and then we continually will go back and forth on who's taking out last week's highs, who's taking last week's lows, as the market goes in back and forth. But at this point, as far as the broader averages are concerned, much closer to taking out the new highs. So we'll see how that goes. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Black Quant ETF at T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show.